Hello, I'm Tom Meeks, and this is 3D Design for Fun and Life, featuring Moment of Inspiration, using the uniquely easy noun and verb method.
This session is Ellipse Noun Group.
When we say we use a noun or verb method, we mean that we combine objects, nouns, with actions, verbs, made available to us in Moment of Inspiration through menu pads. There are 4 menu pads in Moment of Inspiration. The first menu pad contains all of the nouns we will use in Moment of Inspiration. Menu pad 1 has 2 tabs. The first is labeled Draw Curve. This is where we find our 2D nouns. If we click on Draw Curve, the menu pad expands to reveal buttons for accessing 8 2D drawing groups. Group 7 is Ellipse. There are 3 ways of making ellipses: center, diameter, and corners. The center ellipse. When we click on the center ellipse noun button, the prompt says Pick Center Point. Clicking with the left mouse button to select the center point brings up a new prompt, Pick First Axis, and 2 new fields are revealed, width and height. We can enter values directly into the 2 text boxes, but only the mouse can be used to choose the orientation of the first axis. Notice that the indicator line is 1/2 of the length of the axis. We click the mouse to set both the axis size and the angle. The prompt changes to Pick Second Axis. The second axis is always 90 degrees to the first axis. We can enter the value directly or use the mouse to size the second axis. The diameter ellipse. When we click on the diameter ellipse noun button, the prompt reads Pick First Axis Start Point. We use the mouse to select any point in the view window and click once to set the start point. The prompt changes to Pick First Axis Endpoint. It appears that we must only use the mouse to set both the distance and angle of the endpoint because there are no fields in the ellipse dialog box for diameter ellipse. However, we can lock in both the distance and the base angle by entering values in the 2 fields at the bottom of the screen. Setting an angle value that is more than 0 will provide some angle control. We still need to use the mouse to finalize the endpoint. The prompt changes to Pick Second Axis Endpoint. This is best done using only the mouse. Watch the distance and angle values change as the mouse is moved. It's interesting that the reported sizes after the ellipse is complete are different from that reported while setting the second axis endpoint. The corners ellipse. When we click on the corner ellipse noun button, the prompt reads Pick Corner Point. Using the mouse, we select any point in the view window. The prompt changes to Pick Other Point, and we see 2 new text boxes. We can use the mouse to pick the other point or directly enter values into the width and height text boxes. In either case, the result is an ellipse that is created in either a vertical or horizontal orientation. However, if the Show Edit Frame has been checked in the Options dialog, we can rotate the ellipse after it has been created. It's both interesting and easy to experiment with ellipses in combination with a variety of verbs. The outcome can result in some very, very interesting and complex shapes. Let's experiment a bit. Now, this course is called 3D Design for Fun and Life. And sometimes it's just plain fun to experiment with 3D objects that may or may not be something we want to print. And one of the nouns that's really kind of fun to use in this kind of operation is the ellipse. So I'm going to go to the front view, begin with a diameter ellipse, and we're going to we'll create 3 of them. And we'll just make them go out at different angles here. We're not really trying to do much of anything except put 3 ellipses. Now we're going to union these ellipses. Construct Boolean union to get this shape. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top view, and we're going to go back to our curves, ellipse. This time we'll use the center. And we will go ahead and make a nice narrow one like that. It's a center ellipse. We're going to transform array. We'll use a circular array. And that's good. 8 is fine. Done. All right. Then what we will do is we will go ahead and union those, Boolean union. Now, there'll be some extras out here because when you create 8, you get a bunch of extra ones. So we went ahead and deleted the ones that we could see inside. We know that those were not unioned. So now we have this flower shape. So we have our front view. We'll go ahead and move this down a line, right down on the bottom. And we're going to use a revolve, construct, revolve, rail revolve, and we'll pick our rail. Our rail was the center ellipse that we unioned. We're going to do like that, and then we're going to select the axis that we're going to revolve around. And what we get is something like this. It's kind of fun. Really quick shape, neat. You can change the shape if you wanted to go back and say undo that and come here and go fillet and do all of those, let's say with a radius of 4. I don't know, 4. Yeah, 4 will work. Okay, we filleted that. Now we experiment again. Go to the front, revolve, rail revolve, click on our rail, pick the revolve axis start point, come up, and we have this shape. Now we have quite a different shape there just by changing the fillet. But we can create some really interesting flowery kind of shapes. And if we wanted to put them in a flower pot, we could. So that we could print it. Right now, it's not going to stand up very well. But that's just one of the things that we can do with an ellipse. It's kind of fun to play with. Now let's try something else. Going to go to the front real fast. I'm going to go to draw curve. We'll use all center ellipses right now. I'm going to take this center ellipse, come up here, another center ellipse right here. Okay, and I'm going to use a construction line with a straight snap. All right, there we go. And so now we got this. I'm going to move this shape down, and now we'll offset this, construct, offset, and we'll offset it by 1. And then we'll use the offset, diff, offset there. And now we'll come back here, use a center rectangle, and right in here we'll go ahead and union all of these shapes now. Boolean, union, there we go. So now when I revolve this, just a regular revolve, we can do something kind of interesting here. Let's go make another ellipse right here in the front. It's probably better to do it in the top view. Let me name this and get out of the way for a minute. We'll turn our browser on. There we go. There's our ellipse. All right, I want to go to the top view. We're going to move this out now so we can turn the X back on so we can see where to place this. There we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we've got this ellipse here. We're going to go ahead and revolve that ellipse. Construct revolve along that axis. And we're going to name this W. It's a good name for it. And we're going to transform array, circular array. And we're just playing around. We don't have anything in mind in particular here, except that we're going to slowly build up we don't want to keep the objects. All right, go to the front. All right. We'll go ahead and make another ellipse right here. And we'll go ahead and revolve that. Make sure that that will fit in there. I'm going to move this back a bit. There we go. And we're going to name this L for light. Okay. This is going to be our lights. Okay. We'll go ahead and get rid of that frame. Get rid of that frame. And we'll go ahead and say our array, circular array. And we'll say done, and we'll go ahead and make our lights red. Let's see. There we go. So we got red lights. This we can then create some legs for this. And we do that by using our free form. Let's go to the front view here. That'll be good enough. We'll go to our circle, and we'll make a vertical circle somewhere about in here. We'll turn off our X. Good. Now we're going to align these. We're going to go to the top. Oh, they are aligned. All right, so all I have to do now is construct, sweep, pick our rails, done. And in the front view, we'll select whether we use a pointy end or a pointy start. Okay, pointy start works better. And then we will go to the top and we'll array that. Turn our X back on. And as you can see, we've started building up our space creature. All right, and we might do something like this. We'll go ahead and, we usually don't use spheres. We create them generally, but just for something quick and easy, we're going to go up here, go to the top. We'll move this more toward the front. Align this here. And align it a little bit to the right. And we will go to the front view, make sure it's down there. We'll put it down just a bit more, and we'll mirror that. And this is going to be our eyes. So we're playing around. We're not going to really print this. It's just fun. All we're doing now is just having fun. But ellipses allow us to have a lot of fun. And give us the basis for this very cool and one more. There we go. So the ellipse was the basis for our flying saucer. And as you can see, there's just all kinds of things we can do with an ellipse that's just plain fun. And this might also be a good time to show you what else we can do to have a little more fun, and that is to change the lighting and the background in moment of inspiration. Here we have our creature that we just created. We're going to go to Options. The first thing we'll do is we'll turn off the grid. We'll go to View, and we'll change our background color to black or dark blue. It could be anything. Why don't we change it to a really dark blue? There we go. There we go. So as you can see, we've already made quite a few changes here. All right. And then I am going to go here to my lighting options, and we are able to add specular highlights and metallic. Let me move this out of the way so we can kind of see what's happening here. See, I can decide what kind of lighting I want based on these choices. That looks actually better there. And we can decide our brightness and our focus. See how we can focus in here? Now, having done that, it may be even more fun to come over here. We'll turn our style. We'll make the body cyan, and we'll go ahead and change these legs to green. Had I named the legs, it would have been easier. There we go. So now we have quite a different look, and we can change that look considerably by changing the lighting options that we use. If I turn off metallic lighting, I get this. I turn on metallic lighting, I get this. Fixed light position, notice how that changes. So while we don't have full control over the finished look, we do have some lighting control in terms of the specular and the lighting type. Let's go, here's key and more, key and less. Oh, that's kind of dramatic. Key light only. Custom key and fill. And again, you can change these as you move. But a lot of times it's just plain fun to create a creature and then play around with the look of that object, even though you're not going to 3D print it. And that's why this is called 3D design for fun as well as life. Really cool. Thanks. This is 3D design for fun and life. 3D design courseware based on Moment of Inspiration by Tom Meeks.
Ellipse nouns can be the basis for many rewarding opportunities for fascinating design explorations. The more you use your brain for creative thinking, the more your brain will respond with many wonderfully innovative design ideas for using your newly found skills. We don't need to limit our thinking to objects we can 3D print. The 3D designs we create in moment of inspiration can be used in a wide variety of ways to enhance our lives and the lives of others. Even captured images of our designs can be used in everything from greeting cards to fun, personalized animations.